Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome to another episode of Cafe Talk with Pastor Glover. I have missed you all. I hope you all have missed us. I hope you had a great Christmas, a great New Year. And so we're trying to get into this new year, kick this new year off, 2021, in the name of Jesus, looking for great things out of 2021. But in order to get great things out of 2021, you have to do great things yourself. So we're going to start this thing off with a great, dynamic, powerful duo. And none other than the Greens. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Mr. Terrence there. How you doing, sir? You going to say something? Okay, I just took a chance. Is all right. So what's been happening? How y'all doing?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Doing pretty good, just day by day.
Absolutely, absolutely. So when we I want to start with this. We started 2020 with we talked about it Sunday. We started 2020 with a word. And do y'all remember what that word was when we was talking to the big?
Big.
So our word was it's gonna be big.
Right.
I don't think we anticipated the big that it was.
Right.
It was massive.
So tell me about some of your journey. Tell me a part of you all's journey through it, because I know you all had experienced COVID as well, and not just from a distance. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, with the whole thing, it kind of just happened so fast. I know for me at school, it was just like out the blue. We kind of heard some things that were going on with COVID and everything, but never really know what was really happening. It was just like that Friday before March hit, it was like, hey, we're going to be out of school for a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to come back. So it kind of shifted some things, lesson plans and things I had to do. And then after that, within that month, it was like, hey, we're not coming back. Just don't even.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Just don't even worry about it. We're not coming back. So throughout that whole process of just trying to figure it out, we took some time to just kind of enjoy the family, really.
Right.
A lot of times we kind of on the go here doing a lot of things. So we took a lot of time to enjoy the family. We took some time with Terrence, really teaching him some new different things. And then I want to say towards the end of June, and then I had started working, doing some extra stuff as well. But around June, I think it was like a Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, I had like a temperature, but I don't know what it was. I think I took about 6 or 7 Tylenols that day because it just wouldn't go away. And I was coughing, and I was like, I don't know what it is. And my wife was like, we gonna go. Like, nuh-uh.
And there it was.
And there it was. So
now you caught it as well eventually.
Yeah, so I really think I had it the whole time.
Right.
But my symptoms were different.
Okay.
So because I have like seasonal allergies and I have allergies throughout the year, basically, I just thought it was another sinus infection. So it got to a point where the sinus pressure was so like intense that I was like, okay, I'm gonna go and get checked just to be sure. And when I went, the doctor at the clinic was like, I think it's a sinus infection too, but I told him that I had been exposed and that my husband tested positive, so that's when he decided to do the test. And my test didn't come back for 10 days. And when it came back, Tim had tested negative, so they were just like, well, if you're feeling better, then you can go because CDC doesn't require you get a negative. But the next day I went and retested anyway, and I got a negative come back maybe 3-4 days after that. So
Okay.
yeah.
And I think that he hadn't got sick, or he got sick.
Well, we didn't get him tested. I did call his pediatrician, and they told me that the most that they've seen children his age would get a fever.
I got you.
But I monitored him. We never got fevers, Terrence and I. Tim was the only one who had a fever. But Terrence did have like stomach issues, so his pediatrician told me just give him a probiotic and keep it pushing. But
And that shows you how different it affects people. Or because I was having a temperature all the time, but I wasn't sick. I just would have a temperature. I don't know why. And then I started having low temperatures. all the time. But I never was sick, and I finally took the test, and I don't, you know, I claimed in the beginning of it, I told my wife, I'm not getting it. Now I'm not gonna be stupid. You know, I'm not gonna run around everybody breathing on them and letting them breathe on me, but I'm just not going to get it. Period. So, but anyway, I just wanted to kind of start off with that, since that has been the highlight of 2020. I wanted to put that piece first, and then let's move past. Here are some things I want you all to focus on for a moment. You all have been working in the ministry, Blaze Youth Ministry. I don't know how long before me you all been in youth ministry, but I know since I've been here, you all have been working with me in the Blaze Youth Ministry. This year, it was our endeavor last year to take the Blaze Youth Ministry to a whole nother level. This year, we want to do that. What do you feel, what do you see, how do you feel you can impact the youth ministry for the upcoming year? And I know you do in the ministry, you do the music, and you do media or social media, but I mean beyond that, what are some of the ways you think you can impact the youth ministry?
I really think it's building a relationship with the youth on a different level, to be able to really know the youth as a whole and knowing their interests. By me being a school teacher, I have hundreds of kids that I teach, but to being able to I would say come to their level of understanding with different things in life, knowing what type of music they listen to, just kind of really building a relationship with them to really know how can I help them, meet them where they're at. So that's what I think that we could do. Me being able to talk with some of the young men that I don't know, because there are men that come to the youth that I don't really know who they are, but I do see them on a regular, to being able to say, hey, you know, what's going on? Right. Introducing myself and really just building a relationship with them, so that we can get on that level of, you know, if they need to ask questions, or they know that they can come talk to me, or I can talk to them about whatever, and it's not just, oh, that's Mr. Tim. Yeah. You know, he's in the youth. Okay. Yeah, that's just.
Yeah. So, D, what do you see, what opportunities do you believe, just from working in the youth ministry, what opportunities do you believe that are afforded to us from what you've seen with this group of young people that we see? So basically, you know, have you seen things that they're going through and they're willing to share? Have you seen you know, they're willing to interact or not willing to interact? What opportunities do you feel will be better to capitalize on for this year?
A lot of the teens honestly are transparent. Some of them are too transparent. But they are transparent, and they communicate when they feel authenticity, right? So if they feel like they have a genuine connection with you, or any of the staff members, they're gonna open up. I think that we should really utilize this upcoming year to focus on making the teen ministry feel like a teen ministry to them. You know, give them the platform, maybe even alter our teaching style. You know, not necessarily the curriculums, because the curriculums are phenomenal. It's just how we translate that message to them. You know, and I mean, we have a lot of talented and creative teens. And so, but I don't want to focus like a whole lot on the singing aspect of it.
Right.
Like, because we have teens that dance.
Right.
We have teens that rap. We have teens that write poetry. And we should be able to capitalize on those gifts and show them how to utilize those gifts for the kingdom without jeopardizing or feeling like they're jeopardizing their freedom to do so.
I agree with that. I like that. Ministries of the past, we've done that kind of thing, and it's worked out well. How do you suggest that something like that is started? How do you suggest that we kick it off? How do we introduce it in a way that won't be overwhelming, not to the kids, to the adults, really, because we need their participation, but yet and still be effective enough to say, this is still ministry, basically. I know it doesn't look like ministry in the norm, the way you see ministry, but this is still ministry. How do we introduce it?
So I think that we just have to start somewhere, right? And I think that in order to introduce to the adults, is what you're saying, I think we need data. I think we should try some things, implement some new things, and record the responses, accurately, effectively. See how they engage. Get those down. Record more than the number of people that are there, but actually engage, like what they retain, what they remember, how they utilize it, and be able to show that. Maybe documented video, dabbling in videography, and kind of record those things. Record some sessions, And maybe we start out on Wednesday, because Wednesdays are more laid back, more informal. And we do those things, we document it, we record it, and then we, we typically do the parent-teacher conference things or stuff like that. We'll be able to really showcase those things that we've been doing through those outlets, And
well, I mean, you may or may not know. I shouldn't say this is a conversation that we've had maybe a year and a half ago. We were kind of talking about it when we were talking about Wednesday Night Live and this type of thing. And that's exactly what you all are talking about. That's exactly what we're talking about doing. And then here comes Sarona with her old crazy self.
Not so long.
And and with that being said, I think that this would be the year to kick something like that off. And an example, it could even start with what we're talking about doing, going to Mississippi to that church and just kind of viewing how they do things. Not that I think that we do things good. I want to do things better. And I think that we need to be able to accept ideals from multiple different places. So I'm cool with that. I love it. What has been your experience? And either one of y'all can answer this. What has been your experience personally while working in the youth ministry? I mean, have you seen any positive change? Have you seen more negative than positive? And this is a candid show. You say what you need to say. This is about Pastor Glover, Youth Pastor Glover. Don't make no never mind. I talk about Pastor on here, so whatever. What have you seen? And then we'll get to what do you think the immediate change needs to be?
I would say for me, starting off, the change was me. And I guess that's where it needs to start, because I wasn't, before you kind of came in, I was working in the ministry a little bit, and I've worked in ministries, youth ministries before at my old church, but I was kind of working in the ministry more so on like what they call Sunday Fun Day. So I would teach there, and then once you kind of came in, I was like, all right, I'm just about to chill out, I'm cool on all that. But it was around the same time, if not me, going into my teaching career, and so I needed to be here. I didn't know at that time, because I remember a time when we was all over your house, and we was like, hey, we kind of going around introducing everybody, and my wife said, hey, I'm D, I'm this and that, and I was saying that my name is Tim, I'm a teacher,
right?
But I wasn't saying that I was teaching in the ministry. Right. I was just saying I'm a teacher. But more so for me, I saw the change in me in the ministry to be able to really have a heart for the kids even more so, because initially I would talk to some of them, just fly by, see you, hey, hi, but now trying to get engaged and really picking their brains to kind of help them along the way that I didn't get that type of help when I was coming, when I was in that age. I think we've done a lot of different things in the ministry, and I think we are growing. But I think more recently, and I don't know if it's due to COVID or whatever the case, maybe we've kind of taken a step back, or we've kind of fell back some to where we haven't been engaging to the kids, or they're just here. They're not like getting what we're trying to teach them. They're just here.
Gotcha.
For whatever reason that may be.
Gotcha.
And I think we were doing some things, like I said before, the virus. And I understand, sometimes you got to switch some things up because of no one knows anything about this virus and want people to be safe. But I think in the midst of it, we've lost them, or we've burnt them out, maybe, so to speak.
With the constant zooming and constant stuff like that. And I get it. I think along the way in the middle part, that was being said, they were basically really trying to let us know. So we needed to change some things up, and here we are at the time of where we are preparing to change some things up. And I agree with you. Some of their focus, some of their attention is not as it was, but I believe that with what we have coming down the pipeline, it may make a difference if we implement it in the right fashion. Which brings me to the next question. What do you think the immediate, I heard you say about relationship. I heard you say about preaching style or whatever have you. What is the immediate change that you think, or the immediate thing that you think needs to be implemented immediately? Like, hey, look, this is an emergency room. We got to do this.
I think that the immediate change would be maybe the setting, right? The structure, because they don't see the difference. Like, they see the adult church, they see the youth church, but they don't see the difference. You come over here and you got the praise and worship, and then you've got the service, and it's like, what's ours, and I understand that to a certain degree. I mean, if you move me somewhere and you tell me something's mine, but it doesn't look like me, then I'm not gonna feel like this is my space. If that makes sense.
It does make sense. I had some kids approach me the other day, 2 Sundays ago, I think, and they were saying how we are ready to start doing something different, this, that, and the other. And so, noted though, we've been our efforts have always been to make it a youth church, make it look youth, make it feel youth. But we got to have the participation of the youth, and that's not just the kids. That's youthfulness and down, because you all are more. I always say this: you all are more connected to what their style is, because you're closer to their age. I mean, you may not be 5, 6 years older than them, but I'm like, so I'm still in it because God allows me to be in it. I have a youthful heart, and I have the experience of the past, but when it comes to moving us in the future, I think it's going to take more of you young people to help me get them there. So with that being said, are we ready? Are you all ready to take on such a commitment, is what it is, to change?
If you're not comfortable with change, you don't grow. You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, I like that.
And so I think that we're ready for the change as a whole, like the youth ministry as a whole. I think that the team that we have and the capacity, the gifts, the talents throughout the staff itself, I think is ready for the change. But I think that we need to be rejuvenated. I think that the staff needs to be rejuvenated. There are some people that are working harder than others behind the scenes, and I get that, because I know I personally stepped back for a good while, especially after COVID. I think the whole 2020 happened so fast, that so many people just picked up, like you have natural leaders, and
Right.
then you have people who just do stuff to get the job done.
Right.
And so I feel like, and you can commend a lot of people that have stepped up and done a lot of things behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also notice the people who step back, like myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so, with that being said, I feel like there has to be a refresher,
Mm-hmm.
for the staff so that we won't feel like, or they won't feel like, because to me, I mean, I'm good, I done rested.
Right.
But you got other people who've been continuously working that may feel like a level of commitment. I'm already committed, and you're
Right.
going to ask me to do more stuff that's taxing.
Right.
So I think that we have to come to, a way to engage the staff to make them feel rejuvenated, and then kick this thing off.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that that's a good analysis of the whole picture. I wanted to say, when you said COVID happened so fast, not only did it happen and come upon us so fast, we're about to be a year in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just like,
Yeah.
it was like we were just experiencing the beginning of it, and now we're almost a year in it now. Matter of fact, next month, I think the end of next month,
At the end of next month, when it kind of
started,
kicked
kind
off.
of trickling in and
Mhm.
everything. So, but nonetheless, I agree. We need to turn our focus back on what grows or moves the youth ministry forward. And that's one of the things why we're going back to the basics with the Bible. And even if we're teaching that, even if that's, because they're cell phone people, cell phone tablets, whatever have you. But even if we're teaching, man, listen, let's pick up our Bible, it still can have the element or the atmosphere of youth church. A lot of them probably feel, and I believe they feel that way, picking up a Bible, that's old school. But sometimes, a lot of times, we need to pick up that Bible, because you're not getting it or retaining it with your phone. But if you do the walk, like they say, the yellow pages, y'all probably too young for that. Let your fingers do the walking. So I believe you retain it better if you actually have to put your hands on it, as opposed to saying Google was such or whatever have you. Wrapping it up here, I want to say to you all that, and no slight to you, but especially to you, you all have been a very intricate part of the ministry. I remember coming in and just once you got on board, Tim, because if I'm not mistaken, you was like, wait a minute, I can sit in for my wife on this class or whatever. Hey, but hold on, but since you joined, you have been a very intricate part, and I see your heart when it comes to helping the ministry grow and go. I see you all, your desires and your willingness to try different things. So with that being said, first I want to thank you. I want to definitely thank you all for that. And I pray that God continues to give you strength to move you even further along in the ministry. In closing, if you were standing before the young people right now, like right now, they all in here right now, and you only had a sentence with 5 words, maybe 7 at most, to get them to grasp this thing, to get them to know that, okay, we can change the atmosphere, we can change the preaching style, we can do all that. But if you ain't trying to absorb, don't matter what it look like, we got to get you to engage as well. What could you say to them? Oh, I need to hear from both of you all on this. What would you say to them? Just a few words, what you would say to them to say, hey, listen, we need your participation. We need you to do your due diligence as well.
I personally, I can explain what I would say to. Okay, so I would ask the teens to let me get to know who you are, genuinely. And I say that because I feel like they can come and they can show up. They can, cause I did this when I was a teen. I mean, I know a lot of teens feel like I'm grown because Tim and I are married and we have a baby, but we're not that much older. We still the young adults. But we just got, you know, responsibilities. We got, you know, but I say it because I used to play church. You know, I used to go, and a lot of times the adults would be talking over my head, and I used to get them the answer that I feel like they, you know, they wanted to hear. But I don't want to hear the generic answer. Like, I'm not here for that. Like, I want to know what's going on with you, and whatever you say to me between me and you, like, unless it's like something detrimental.
Detrimental, right.
You know, but other than that, like, I just want to know where you're at so that I can help you get past that. Because I have gone through life, like, I mean, I might be able to talk you up to college. You know, I know some things that are beyond me, but you ain't even in college, so I can tell you how to navigate through that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, just tell me what you're dealing with. Tell me about the experiences. I've been there, done that.
Transparency.
You know? Transparency. Let me get to know you, and you can get to know me. I mean, I'm not, as they say, fake. Like, man, I don't care. You know, like, cause I know I've been through some stuff. Like, I had to have somebody talk to me. Like, you know, like, I got saved in my room when I was 19 on college campus by myself after me and my roommate got into it, and she left, you know. So I'm in the room by myself, and that's when, you know, the Holy Spirit ministered to me personally. And so it wasn't, I'm not holier than thou. I mean, I had one girl at the purity tell me she thought that Tim was the only boyfriend I ever had. Like, okay, I have lived life. So I'm like, just talk to me. I'm not gonna, you know, I mean, it is what it is. You get what you get with me. Like, how you see me now is how you gonna catch me in the stove, gonna catch me at work. Like, I am who I am. So.
What about you, Tim, briefly? What would you say? What would you say?
Oh, man. I mean, I'm not trying to piggyback off. I'm really not.
No, say.
But really, it would just be to, like, I mean, even like I said in the beginning, I don't know the words I would necessarily say to them as a whole. I would try to find a common ground so that we can kind of talk on that common ground and then kind of ease into. I really just want to be able to build a relationship with them, to know where they're at, to know some of their interests and things that, because I feel like if you know where their interests are, and I've done this a lot with the kids that I teach, I find out what their interests are beyond the music, because I teach music, and a lot of my kids have other interests that are beyond music, so I try to find their interests and see how I can relate it to, you know, what we're teaching in the ministry, or how I can help them, you know, whatever it is that they may be going through, or just that to let you know that I'm there, you know, not so much to just be like, oh, I'm just trying to get in your space, or trying to find out what you're doing, but to know that, Mr. Tim, okay, he's there for me, you know, he's somebody that
he really cares.
He really cares, type of deal, and I've done that. But I think I could do a little bit more. I haven't done it as much as I should have, especially with everything that has been going on. But I have to take a step back and see how that I could do that, because I do that a lot with my kids that I teach, like I said, and I've taken it really far with them, like even with their grades in the classes and stuff. I had this one student come to me and was like, hey, I don't understand it, and the teacher not trying to show me how to understand it. I'm asking, but they not, you know, and I've went and talked to that teacher on my breaks and stuff like that, and I found a method of how to take the music we was learning and put in those math problems she was working with the music, because the music we was doing, she was catching on quick. I found a way to how to take the stuff she was learning, and I'm not a math person. I don't like math. That's not my thing. I can't. But I found out a way. The Holy Spirit gave me some stuff, and we worked it out. She ended up passing the class.
I think that, and I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna wrap it up. I think that we as a team need to step back, reevaluate. Realize it's not about us. Realize that it is about the children. It is about connecting them to the kingdom of God and helping them retain that which we are teaching. Because if you're not retaining it, it's just like school.
Right.
If you don't retain from one place to another, it's not going to help you along the path. You know, something's going to be missing, something major. So that is going to be my goal with the team this early part of this year, is to get us refocused, get us more grouped, if that makes sense, together, more focused on the life goals when it comes to changing, and I'm all for that, changing the way it looks, changing the way it sounds, changing the way we deliver. I'm all for that. If the end result is bringing kids to the kingdom of God, if that's the end result, man, listen, we stand up in the chairs. I don't care. As if the end, no, nobody get hurt. Right. If the end result is that we're saving souls, bringing people and their kids into the kingdom, I'm all for that. So I really appreciate what you all have said today. I would like you all to continue the conversation. Let's continue the conversation. Let's not cameras off. Let's not end the conversation once the camera's off. Let's come to the office. Let's talk. Let's have some document. Let's go to that church, see what they're doing, and see what other churches are doing, and figure out what it takes for us to be more impactful with our young people. Fair enough?
Fair.
Well, listen, I appreciate you all tuning in to Cafe Talk with Pastor Glover. I really appreciate the Greens being here. Let's give them a hand. All right, I know you're doing that. And I would like you to join me next week on Cafe Talk, where my guest is none other than the incomparable pray the heavens down warrior, Miss Deborah Knight. Did I say that right? I think I said that right. See you next week on Cafe Talk.